Welcome back to my first video in forever. Today, I'll be showing off my new game, starting with an elevator pitch and building from there. I spent the last few months refining this idea in the background, but now it is ready to share and development is ready to begin. Welcome to Mystica. Mystica is a world-trotting platformer ARPG with procedurally generated levels where you and your team utilize your arsenal of spells and potions and weapons to save the world and discover the past. So, what did you think of the pitch? I know it's not the best, but hopefully it's good enough to provide a base for the video, starting with a discussion about In this section, I will address some questions derived from the first line of the pitch, such as, world trotting? What does that even mean? Throughout the game, you'll be travelling around the game's world, clearing each of the levels and visiting towns to find out more about the story, completing side quests given to you by NPCs, levelling up, finding party members, exploring for collectibles, and more. And there'll be systems in place which make travelling more interesting, and every single one of the locations will be visually distinct, and I just want the game to feel like a massive adventure that spans an entire world, and I want that world to feel alive. What systems does the game employ to fit the bill of an ARPG? In the levels, there will be two main things to do: platforming/exploration, and combat. And each of these systems will feed into each other and be upgradable on a skill tree. On top of this, there will be character leveling and equipable gear and items, and a party inventory management system, and a crafting system, all of which are pretty basic ideas for an ARPG, but the execution will hopefully make it different enough, as well as the fact that it's a 2D platformer, to stand out. Why is it procedurally generated, and how does it work? First off, I know these are two questions, but they're closely related, so I'm going to answer them in the same segment. Anyways, the reason it is procedurally generated is because for the last 3 months, the idea has been morphing constantly, starting as a roguelite, and through the evolution it changed, so that all I really kept from the roguelite bit was procedural generation, because I really like procedural generation, and I think it works for like the story I came up with and stuff like that. And for how it works, I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna experiment with combining structures and height maps, like how Terraria generates its maps, and chunks and height maps, and pure chunking, and any different methods there are for procedurally generating maps and stuff. And obviously, if all of these fail, to create interesting play spaces using my algorithms and how I make it, then I will design by hand at least more of the world, maybe keeping random generation to boss dungeons, or maybe eliminating it altogether. But, you know, I want procedural generation, so I'm going to try hard to keep it. Why is it level-based? Anyway, I'd like to quickly preface this section before you go and get your uninterrupted again, until I realise there's another mistake with the script I can't be bothered to amend. This is weirdly written, and I'm saying that ARPG games are 100%, well, not 100%, but kind of level-based, and, like, it's not really true, but if you boil it down, it kind of is. And I say that they lie. They're not lying, they're just using a different way to they're just using different ideas, basically. Post-script writing will jump out. It is level-based like how most open-world ARPG games kind of are, with safe zone town areas and some explorable overworld areas between points of interest and dungeons, aka levels. This one just clearly labels it instead of lying. You have hub towns, a bit of an explorable overworld, and main and side points of interest, main and bonus/secret levels. But also, I think especially if I do go with procedural generation, the game makes more sense story-wise to revolve around levels and venturing between them, and having these levels be more significantly a part of the experience than most RPGs, which have short dungeons interspersed with lots of smaller scale combat in an open world area or route to the next place. I'm just containing routes and dungeons in the same overall banner of a level, like how Mario castles do, with side missions and smaller random or pre-built segments also being in the game, which are just the routes. And with that, I've wrapped up all the major questions that I sought to answer in this section, and now let's move on to discussing the... This makes up the majority of the pitch, so this section will be a bit longer, so let's get right into it and waste no time. What team-based elements will the game have, why, and how will it all work? This is a more recent addition to the game, but also a big one, as I believe it could be a big selling point. But throughout the whole game, you will be adventuring with friends, single player or co-op will be possible, from your home village and maybe even some new ones you meet on the journey. They will hopefully enhance the story and make a unique combat system, as you will have direct and unparalleled levels of control over each and every character in your squad. You'll be able to pick their gear and accessories and loadout to make awesome synergies and crazy combos. The exact specifics of the system are yet to be decided, aka will all characters just be switched between simply like in Genshin Impact, or will you be able to maneuver and switch their positions and have these be maintained? And if you can, do they get taken over by AI? Are they invulnerable whilst not being controlled? Can you issue commands? If so, how? And all of these will be answered in time, and the answers will likely change over time as well. But these basics will probably be maintained. What are the specifics of each character's loadout and inventory? Obviously, these will be changed over development, but right now the plan is what I'll start development with. Each character will have 1 weapon, 3 spell slots, an armor set, 3 accessory slots, think Terraria, a skill tree, and a class. I think these numbers are large enough to give each character power and variety, whilst being limited enough that using multiple characters is necessary. I could be wrong, and this will be awful for the game, but I will try, and you, if you play the playtests, lots of different options to make the best game possible. Every single character will also have a separate bag, which is their inventory, and a shared bank accessible through a few means, going to each town's storage room and using an item teleportation potion or spell. The bag will be small and unable to hold heavy weapons or spells, so will mainly be used for potions and throwables and crafting materials, and other consumables if they make it into the game, while the bank can hold anything and will be quite large, as well as you being able to buy extra or remote banks in bigger towns and cities. This is because I don't want you to be able to carry 4 full loadouts on each character to cheese this system by having maxed out gear of every class or dozens of spells to be switched between at will. I want to make getting things from the bank not particularly easy, especially in combat situations, and I probably won't have auto pause for the inventories. So this means that you can't change it in the middle of a combat situation to get infinite possibilities in each situation and be overpowered always. But who knows, again, this is something that will need to be tested and ironed out and play tested to see how hard it is. Every limitation I should put on it and any limitation I should remove and all sorts of different things, and that's how game development works. Do you have any more details on the system or specific unique items? I see no reason to go into much detail on core systems like spells or potions or weapons in this video, as these will be the first things I work on for the game, so I can devote devlogs to showing these off quite soon. But for some interesting items that will be unique systems in the game, but that I won't be developing until later on, this isn't the case. So for now, let me give a brief breakdown of both spells and weapons, and one super integral item. Spells are the main bit of the game, and there will be dozens, if not hundreds. each with unique properties and behaviour, ranging from simple things like a double jump spell to crazy and wacky ideas, such as the spell that fires 8 homing balls of pure magic that home out to enemies and consume them. Each character's playstyle and potential will revolve around the spells you give them, as well as weapons, which are other integral bits of the experience. Each character will have one, be it a bow and arrow, or a gun, or a mysterious sword that seems too heavy to use without magic aids, but that hosts a dangerous being of immense power. Weapons will be more individually customizable, with enchants and upgrades and all sorts of wacky stuff. Anyways, the one item I want to highlight is class scrolls. These will decide your character's class and house their skill tree, and I want you to be able to have a few in the bank to switch between if you want to, but I also want them to be rare and expensive and be drawbacks to switching between them, but I'm not sure how all of that will work yet. I think these are a very interesting and unique concept, but what do you think? That about wraps up this section, and we are almost done, but first I'd like to provide the story synopsis and answer some general questions. Decades ago, civilization thrived. The Earth was at its peak, many species living in harmony, and an advanced society was being built, with most humans working together to build the best world they could. Everything was on an upwards trajectory, with no signs of slowing down. Then, disaster struck. The Mystics, the game's gods, destroyed and sealed countless amounts of land and killed countless people. They made entire cities and countries die, and brought the thriving civilization down to rubble in a matter of days. Now, generations have passed, and only rumours and stories remain of the world before. New civilizations have formed around the now called barriers, helping and supplying themselves with whatever minute thing managed to scramble out, as it was sure to be imbued with a mystical power. Although harmony has been lost, one thing everyone wishes for is a hero who will finally clear the barriers and reveal the civilization of the world before. What do you think of this little snippet? I personally think it sets the base for an epic, interesting, and mysterious story, so hopefully I'm up to the job of penning it. Here are a few questions I feel I should answer. Is this a very large scoped project? Too large even? Yes, but no project is too large. If you give a vision time and patience, it will always eventually come to fruition. And I personally feel that the genre and ideas of this game, and the 2D pixel art style, something I will use, are both timeless. So even if this takes half a decade to complete, I will persist to the end. I have so many ideas, and I'm so passionate to continue this, and by building a platform, I am providing a safety net and support group that will push me through any hardship. I promise this won't be another hollow promise indie game failure. I would never want to let down my audience like that. Why has it been so long? I missed you because you are my favourite creator, and I haven't had a chance to like and comment in so long? I'm sorry. You can like and comment now though. I'm hoping this video will be the start of a semi-consistent upload schedule. I hope to upload twice a month until the end of the year starting now, so you should be fine. Also, the reason it has been so long is a variety of reasons that I can't be able to go into right now, but they are majorly cleaned up, so now my procrastination on script writing can be the main blame from this situation. But the wait has been over for the last however long it has been since this video started. Unfortunately, it is now starting again. After this short outro and 20-second clip of a random musical track over a black screen to give you adequate time to click on a link to watch another one of my adequate videos and subscribe to my adequate channel. Welcome to the outro. This was a long one, clocking in at almost 2,250 words. It took a while to create, but it is out, and it is time for me to finally actually start work on this game. What else? There's something else, I swear. Oh yes! Thank you so much for helping me hit 100 subs. Let's bring that to 1,000 by the end of the year, shall we? And now, an insight into my gamer life, with a game recommendation from yours truly. And this one is totally free. Sonic Roboblast 2, a Sonic fan game based on Doom of all things. Don't worry, it only means you can use the same mod tools and use the same file formats. This is a 3D platformer. Not only is it one of the best 3D Sonic games ever, with awesome controls and level designs as well as a bopping soundtrack, but it has a vibrant mod community that has made tons of custom characters and levels, even game modes, and a whole fully fledged kart racer with dozens of stages and a modding scene of its own. I highly suggest you check it out, and maybe even play with a few friends. See you all next time, when I will return to doing game jams after a few months off doing much game dev at all.